Coach Rick Sloan, we've got 1 week to go before the Mountain, well, 2 weeks. This week and next week of training before the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation Championships. This week you've got a limited number of kids that are going to go over to the Vandal Collegiate. Is this a week that some of your top performers need to rest, need to train through? What's your philosophy about training and competing right before those championships?
It's completely individual. Depends on health. It depends on how well someone is performing. There will be some people that need to show us a little something over at the Vandal Collegiate meet in order to be included on that championship team. Others have already shown us, and some people will be going over and doing a little speed work. 400-meter runner might be coming down and running just a 200 over there. So it's individual, and everyone kind of has their own needs, and the coaches in those areas are determining those things, and we'll do what we need to do and get ourselves ready to compete in 2 weeks.
Let's talk about what you coach specifically day in and day out, and that's our multi-event competitors. You've got a couple of gentlemen who are getting ready for the heptathlon for men, 7 events. But you're also training with the idea of doing 10 events in the spring. What do you do on a week in, week out basis? Do you cover every event every day? Are Mondays always one event and Tuesdays another event? How do you manage that?
It's the latter. It's Monday has certain events. For instance, yesterday was Monday, and we came out and we high jumped, we threw shot, and then we did a sprint workout. And then our lifting usually is upper body lift on Monday and Wednesday, and lower body on Tuesday, Thursday. So it's a planned out thing. What I like to do is try to leave the end of the week open and not have anything scheduled, and then spend one-on-one time with each individual and work on specific things that they need help on that's not coming along as quickly as others. But we'll work on every event in a week, in a 5-day span, and some events will get hit twice, the ones that we need a little extra work on.
And then, say for this weekend, what events might your heptathletes be entered in this weekend to get them ready for the Mountain Pacific Heptathlon?
Well, only Michael will be doing the Mountain Pacific meet.
Michael Boligar.
Michael Boligar and Sean Harris and Spencer Wardell are both redshirting the indoor season. But we will compete over at Idaho, and you have to make that decision earlier in the week for the entry purposes. But sometimes it's the same. I think they'll all hurdle, but we just look at what events they need work on. And a lot of it at this point has to do with confidence. Am I confident with my high jump? Am I confident with my shot put? And the ones that we're not quite confident in, then we'll put them in a competitive situation and try to get that confidence from the competition.
Because they do 7 events during the indoor season, is there a time when it's just always better to compete than practice for a certain event? I'm thinking about something that might have starting blocks. Even though that you practice that in the indoor facility, maybe it's better when you're in a live circumstance and there's other runners and a gun. And
what competition brings, we can practice all of the events and do well at them all week long, all month long. What we have to learn is when somebody says Sloan up and then you get in the circle to throw the shot, things change when somebody says your name. So we have to get used to those situations. I do that in practice. We're having a great practice session, for instance, in the shot put, and pull out my tape measure out of my bag and said, okay, here we go. We're going to have a 3-throw competition. And what sometimes happens is what was great for the last half hour now kind of falls apart when we pull the tape measure out and do it for real. So getting used to that, being able to perform at least to the level that you do on a daily basis in practice, or sometimes in your warm-ups. Sometimes people throw great warm-up throws and don't foul or do great things in warm-ups, and then when it comes for real, things change. The pressure of competition.
You have always said that a lot of the real mental part of being a multi-athlete is managing, the time management.
Yep.
How can you teach that during practice?
You can. It's not quite the same, but if we're working on, for instance, Wednesday we'll do an upper body lift, we'll come and throw discus, we'll do long jump, and then we're going to hurdle. Then we're going to do some type of running workout. Wednesday's a very big day for us. And so your ability to be prepared, you have to not only change gears physically when you move one event to another, but you have to change gears mentally. And so you have to move away from your discus mind, leave that event alone. And that's what it's like in competition. You have to compete in the long jump, and once that long jump's done in a decathlon, you're going to go throw the shot put. So don't keep thinking about long jump. You can't do anything about that. And so we practice that in training. And the speed of the transition, a lot of times they allow you a half hour, and if you sit around and drink soda pop or whatever you're doing out there, you're wasting the time. The half hour is not a rest break, it's preparation for the next event. So that's all part of our practices as well, and try to treat everything we can as a learning situation, whether it's in practice or in competition.
I'm sure you know that some of your guys probably have their favorite events.
The ones they do the best at.
Usually. Are they different for Michael and Sean and Spencer?
Yes. When we do 400-meter training, Michael and Spencer, they don't mind that. They do quite well at that. Sean has gotten a lot better now that he has them to train with. And he's showing a lot of improvement in his ability to do that quarter-mile training. But and it varies too. Human nature is, once you're performing well in a particular area, that's the one that's reinforcing to you. So that's the one that you want to do. That's where the coach steps in and says, no, we're going to keep that going, but we've got to get this event going now. Everyone's been to the circus and seen the guy come out and put the pole on the ground, put a plate on it and spin the plate and make it stay on there. Then he puts up a second one and spins that, then the first one, then the second one, and they work their way down the line. That's what a decathlete does. Decathlete is preparing themselves to have 10 plates spinning all at the same time. And if you spend too much time spinning one plate, some of the others are going to fall off and break. So it's a matter of balance and making sure that everything gets addressed and that we're working on our weak points as well as our strong points.
Thanks for sharing the training information. It's very evident now why you're one of the nation's best multi-events coach.
Thank you.
Good luck to the Cougs this week.
Thank you.